Good to go, Don?
Yep.
Quick call to order the Banner County Board of Equalization at 8:33, June 2nd. Roll call, please.
John?
Present.
Robert?
Here.
Lee?
Present.
Item 3, Nebraska Open Meetings Act. There's a copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act by the back door of the courtroom. Item 4, consent agenda items.
Motion to approve consent agenda. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda items. Any further discussion? Do we need to look at that correspondence?
Do you have any comments on it?
No, good. Do you guys have? All right, roll call vote, please.
John?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Item 6, public comments, item 5. Items of business before the board, we have none. Item 6, public comments. Banner County Board of Equalization will receive public comments on items discussed at this meeting or suggestions for items of discussion at a future Banner County Board of Equalization meeting. The board will not act and or respond to comments presented on the state. You will have 3 minutes after stating your name and address for the public record. Do we have any public comments for the Banner County Board of Equalization? We got a packed courtroom this morning.
Full house.
Yeah.
Thank you for attending, John.
I'm glad I can help.
Yeah, thanks for making the trip west.
Absolutely.
It's a trip, I know.
Easy to break up. It's good.
Yeah. Are you guys okay to adjourn? Or?
Yeah, I am.
All right, we'll adjourn Banner County Board of Equalization at 8:35.
Oh, minute. I got, the conference stuff, that's it.
Okay, let's get out of that. Do you have to step out of it and bring?
And then something like it.
If we do get charged for it, just let me know and I'll pay the county back.
I talked to Candace and she didn't think it was a good job.
Thanks, Katie, for doing that.
Yep.
Are you good on the agenda where you're at, or
Wherever you want me. I'm,
we can bump you up if need be to get you out of here faster if you need to?
why would I want us to spend less time in Banner County if I can help it?
We're good people. We're a good time.
I agree.
If you're okay where you're at, we can.
Yeah, I'm very
It's pretty early on.
Yep.
Are we good with the June 16th date? Yeah.
For that budget hearing.
Yes.
I talked to, can't remember his name, J13 Enterprises yesterday. He is pushing to hold to that date,
Okay.
but may have to bump it back because he's ran into a lot of issues he's trying to
Okay.
track down in the budget, and so he's doing the advertising, so.
I guess that's what I'm
he'll advertise
asking for,
accordingly.
so, okay.
Is that a regular meeting? No. No, it's not. So we set that off a date, huh?
June 16th, yeah, that's a regular meeting.
You're right.
Okay. So, I mean, he'll do the advertising and
How's Zane?
Good.
morning.
Can I give you a brief report when we get to reports?
You can go under public comments.
Oh, yeah, this is not the.
Does that work, Zane?
Yeah, that's fine.
When do we have to decide pink postcards by?
Well, that's Candace's email right here.
I was just reading that.
July 31st, please reply to this email on July 31st if we need to use this date printshot. Would make sense.
Right, but there's a date we have to decide on pink postcards by. I can ask this J13 Enterprises and see just so we're on top
In
of
front of
that.
that.
Because it kind of depends on his numbers as well as Casey's if we have to. Everything's going up, isn't it?
What's your thoughts on this document? Onto the, interlocal.
Still not my favorite, but
Does it protect us and give us?
as good as it's gonna get, probably.
Okay.
It's not my favorite. You're not gonna get reimbursed.
Yeah, gonna get, right.
That's probably my greatest issue with it. I don't like that it talks about firefighting apparatus, but it does not include any of the volunteer fire departments as part of it. They all have their own interlocal agreements as well. So this is for, getting roads back repaired, signage, whatever else. Let's keep it that. I don't like how broad it's written for what is like a fairly narrow
Scope
of what our guys
would do there.
might be doing. If we have any there, who aren't there for the fire
Pretty well.
department.
I know, there's something there.
I mean, that's the other part of it.
With the next door.
They might be there for the fire department response, and we might not have anybody to send anyway.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite.
Hey, Tim, are you good with these numbers on the resolution for the league?
What numbers do you have?
15,000.
We could jump that to 29.
There's no other.
I know we had that
That's a
discussion.
county sign that
Yes.
you're aware of.
Oh,
We can change that. to
It says in the letter that
Well,
somebody has.
I talked
Well, we
to
have,
Caleb yesterday.
and at that point, as far as I know.
He said we should
like us
do no
discussing
action
county,
on this
But
one
I think
because
sign.
there was something last year that didn't get done with your fund. And he said he wants to do a whole cleanup resolution
There's some other parts,
because it wasn't put into the budget correctly.
in the back of it, there's.
So it won't come out correctly.
Part of it does.
So we wanted to do a complete cleanup resolution, and then it would take care of this 15,000 and then whatever it was, I don't remember what
It's
the,
supposed to be 15 last year and 14 this year.
so, yeah, something like that.
We can squeeze my budget, I've got enough in there, we can squeeze 29 out of it.
Yeah, that's what he said yesterday. Is he wanted to do a cleanup resolution.
the transfers have been an issue.
That's the hard part though, cause I like.
I
So-
think there's a new plan for that, but
Okay, do you want us just to table this, Katie, then till the 16th?
Yeah, he was gonna he said the 16th or because we have to decide on end of fiscal year meeting, and he said maybe do it then.
Okay.
So he was gonna make a whole resolution for it.
And I think your weed fund is 100-733. But I have to look up the inheritance tax. But
yeah, we could do
Okay.
do next time.
Are you two ready to roll?
Let's do it.
We'll call to order the Banner County Board of Commissioners at 8:47, June 2nd. Roll call, please.
Don,
Present.
Robin,
Here.
Leif,
Present.
Item 3, Nebraska Open Meetings Act. Copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of the courtroom by the entrance. Would one of you lead us in prayer?
Father, we just thank you for the rain that you provided for us. Lord, we can always use more. Give us wisdom as we go about the business of the people of Banner County. Find us faithful on our duties. In Jesus' name, amen.
amen.
Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 6, approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Don,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Leif,
Yes.
Item 7, approval of the minutes of May 19, 2026.
Move to approve the minutes of the May 19, 2026 meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of May 19, 2026 meeting. Any further discussion? I had a question on the interlocal agreement under items of business. We had a motion and we had a second, but there's no documentation of a vote.
There was no vote.
There wasn't a vote.
No vote on that one. How do we handle that, Mark? Do we need to?
It's on this agenda, right?
Right.
Yeah,
So there's motion, there's no vote, didn't pass.
so we just move forward
I
with
recall it got
with
tabled.
this agenda?
And so I recall it got tabled. There was a discussion about having signed it, needing to rescind it. And that, I believe, there was a vote on. To rescind it, and we opted to.
We did rescind.
To this meeting. Or signing the new version.
Did we resend it in your recording?
So I rewatched it, the meeting, and their motion was to rescind. And there was a second, and then you guys went on to the next item of business. We didn't follow through, but I didn't, for that, can we just do the rescind in
So,
in us today's,
yes,
since it's back on the
just
agenda?
rescind and then approve the new agreement.
Just move forward? Okay. Any more discussion on the minutes? Roll call vote, please.
Don?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Item 8, correspondence, budgetary increases for next budget cycle, MIPS and Candace.
There should be 3 different ones that Candace has sent.
Do we need to send this stuff to J13? I'm sure he's aware of it. He's on part of all the budget stuff, but.
I would guess he is.
What?
I would guess it's aware.
I'll contact him and make sure.
Make sure, would you please?
Yep.
Thank you.
And see him. If it's that, I'll forward it.
Great.
Would you thank Candace for us, John?
I will.
Bring her with you next time.
What's that? I will.
Long Range Transportation Plan, Nebraska Department of Transportation.
I'm not sure what to do with this.
You have comments?
I have no comments.
Thank you.
Is that something we want on the agenda next time, or just information? What would you two like to do with it?
Well, it seems to just be informational if we have, as a group, want to make comments on.
That's what this is. This is a forum to open comments, but I don't think I've got anything to comment on to.
One of the things looking forward is the federal government's going to continue to cut the funding for this kind of stuff, as is the state. So there might be a move at some point in time to regionalize the transportation system to make it more cost effective. Kimball Transit System is the majority of the transportation system in the Panhandle. Scottsbluff has their inner city deal.
Tri-City.
Chadron has some transit authority up there. Garden County has a transit authority. The point being that if you consolidate those into a multi-area service, it doesn't rely on just one county. We don't pay anything for any of it other than what the people do. You know, if we have riders that use the Kimball County Transit Authority, they would pay a fee to use it. But Kimball County's got most of the skin in the game, and they lost $700,000 is what I understand. So,
So good, just to move forward, if we need
Yep.
it on the agenda, we can put it on at a later
Put it
date.
on later.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Item 9, public comments. Banner County Board of Commissioners will receive public comments on items discussed at this meeting or suggestions of items of discussion at future Banner County Board of Commissioner meeting. The board will not act and/or respond to comments presented on this date. Please keep comments limited to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comments for the Banner County Board of Commissioners?
Just got a couple of informational stuff for you. I got an email this morning. They're gonna have another gravel bike race on June 13th. It will come enter Banner County through Hubbard's Gap, exit over Wright's Gap. The long course riders are still gonna go south on Hackberry and then turn around back north. The shorter course will split the difference on the Creek Road. So we'll have bike riders,
In the county.
They're coming over Hubbard's.
they're coming over Hubbard's Gap. So you might ask, you might ask Lane on that day to tell feed truck drivers to watch out for bicyclists. We don't need a feed truck versus the bicycle. But I didn't approve the route. I knew nothing of it until I got the email this morning.
at least we got an email this time.
And they do
There's
have
been some
liability,
communication with them
they do
about
have
that.
liability insurance. They sent the certificate of liability insurance to go with it.
Well, we still have cattle to feed and,
You're still gonna have cattle to feed but you're gonna have bikers coming over, there are gonna be people on the creek, they're gonna be coming over Hubbard's, so it's gonna go right through the middle of y'all, so.
yay. I'm gonna be excited about that one.
On the 13th, which is a Saturday.
Okay.
There's going to be a porta-john at the top of Hackberry, just like last year. So other than that, the only other thing, we've got the construction going on 71, it's ramping up. Starting about mile marker 39 now, it's going down to 60 going northbound until you get to the Wildcats. So the full length of the construction going north is now 60 mile an hour. Cause they're milling.
Time frame? You have a time frame?
November,
November.
100+ days.
Nice.
Okay.
No, I'm sure it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
start going over the gap.
There you go.
I've got one other thing. I saw the news this morning and I talked to the chief a little bit about it and realizing this will be an unpopular thing. Scottsbluff County voted last night to ban fireworks in unincorporated areas of the county. My fear is if Banner County doesn't follow suit, we're gonna have people coming south to light their fireworks off. And we're sitting in a tinderbox. I don't wanna burn up the county, and I'm sure Chief doesn't wanna burn up the county either. They're gonna drop a resolution to vote at their next meeting to settle it. But it's just something, as far as enforcing it, if we can show that your fireworks caused a fire, I'm thinking you get a bill from the fire department for putting out the said fire. We just spent 2 weeks on 100, what was that, 100 acres, Tim?
100 acres, yeah.
We spent 2 weeks on a 100-acre fire. That's a lot of manpower and that's a lot of expense that we laid out for that.
I'm glad you brought this up, Zane, because this had crossed my mind. I wasn't sure if the ban lied with you, Tim, or this board.
I think it can be through all three of us, but it's mainly where if it's gonna be countywide, it's gotta come from you guys.
Okay.
But I'll spend
$400 or $500 on fireworks every year, and this year we're not spending anything.
It's bad. Even with the rains, it's bad.
The rain
Um,
doesn't, it hasn't rained enough to do anything really.
To piggyback on your comments, I've actually had some members of public that have reached out to me inquiring about this as well, with concerns and whatnot. So,
It's not a full-time, it's just a this year, and we'll
right.
play, see what next year looks like. Hopefully we get some moisture and we're green and not a tinderbox.
Do we put that on for like X amount of days? Like the whole month of July, maybe?
You might have,
Well,
Summer.
their own, so retailers are only authorized to sell for 10 days.
and Gary dropped it to 7.
And Karen dropped it to 7, which I'm not sure that's gonna be. I think the same amount of fireworks will be
Sold in 7
sold in
days.
7 days versus 10 days personally, but, so I don't know that your ban needs to be anything more than just for the 10 days that,
But I have fireworks from last year.
Well, I can see people coming to the Buffalo Trip.
if you light them outside of the 10 days, that's a criminal offense.
It is.
That's a fine. I mean, you can be charged criminally for that.
Really? I didn't know that. Honestly, I did not know that.
You
You get,
Unlawful,
10 days and then January.
unlawful
3
discharge
days.
of fireworks, right, you have just those windows, that it's legal to sell and to ignite.
but,
Cause you can't ban the possession of.
Right.
right, but you, the use thereof, but it was just a thought. I'm
Great
sure the
thought.
chief doesn't want to see our county go up in smoke, and neither do the landowners or anybody else.
I'm glad you brought that up, Zane, because.
Would you put that on the agenda for next time,
Yes,
please?
please. And can you create us a resolution, Mark, please?
Yep.
How many days do you two recommend?
So I'd say the 10 days.
The 10-day window,
Window.
So,
yeah, so they end theirs on July 4th at midnight. So 10 days prior to that.
Do we have a burn ban right now?
We always have a burn ban.
Just requires a permit.
There's always a statewide burn ban, and my permits allow you to
Circumvent that.
circumvent it. But there is always a statewide burn ban.
Okay.
That's
thank
what I
you.
got for you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
All right, resolution on next agenda. Mark will create that and Katie will put it on the agenda. We'll do. You two good with that?
Yes.
Do we have any more public comments? No. Item 10, reports. Commissioner reports, Don.
We had Office of Human Development. Since our last meeting, there's nothing outstanding there. I did meet with a representative of Northrop Grumman the other day. They just
Of what?
wanted, Northrop Grumman. She just wanted to get familiar with, what we knew about it. I think we knew as much as she does. She's kind of new. And Scotts Bluff, she also met with some of the representatives, people.
That's on the missiles.
Yes. Gosh, I can't think of a whole lot else to say about it, honestly. Have any questions?
Not yet. I will after we adjourn. Are you good, Don?
Yes.
Do you have anything for Don?
I do not.
My report, Emergency Management Board met yesterday. We're moving forward with the new EOC remodeling the jail in Gary, to the tune of 47,000 something. We just rounded it up to 50, which is in our budget for that this year. We're still hoping for grants to come through on that, but we're waiting on FEMA. So there we are. We're just gonna move ahead with it because we need it, and that's about the only major thing we did yesterday. The budget, I talked with J13 Enterprises yesterday. He is working on our budget. He's hoping to hold to the June 16th amendment hearing, but will keep me updated on if that's gonna be a go or if we have to push that back to, say, the 29th of June,
Okay.
depending on what he finds and how we can fix it. I think that's all I have. She does have questions.
I don't.
Good. Leif?
I have no report. My boards have not met for this month. I have nothing else I'm willing to, or ready to state at this time.
Good, Todd? With Leif. Item 11, items of business before the board, approval of special designated license for Flyover Brewery Company, Nikki, no, say it wrong.
Egan.
Egan?
Hi, my name is Dan Warburton. I'm here on behalf of Nikki. She's had a thing she had to do on the other side of the state. So I'm just here to answer any questions that you guys may have. I believe we were here last year, kind of went through the same thing. We're not gonna get as crazy as Aaron Rains is and going through Hubbard's Gap. We're gonna stick to more sane roads.
Okay.
Our plan is the same route as last year, Wright's Gap, cut over, and then Hackberry. We got a aid station at the top of Hackberry, and then around the corner, a couple miles on Mark Cape's land. And both of them have approved us to use their land. And this is gonna be 2 weeks after the Movadoo race.
So security in places, carting, all that?
Yeah, so we have snow fencing and, that we put around the perimeter. Both of those locations are kind of self-enclosed. I mean, you don't want to go too far from that area anyways. You're gonna be out in the weeds. But yeah, we have that enclosed. Everybody will be carded before they go on the ride, and they'll get a wristband so that they'll be banded before they ever leave. So the people, and the people that are serving are trained. So they've been through the SIPS training and they know to look for the wristband and whatnot, they know. Not that it's an issue in these situations, but they do know not to overserve, watch for those signs and that sort of thing.
I'm thinking they might need one after Hubbard's Gap.
Yeah,
Right by the people.
I mean, they need one to, yeah,
Right.
we'll do it right in the feed lot. I think they need one to get up Hubbard's Gap.
Yeah.
Down might be a heck of a ride too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you for coming
Answering
in
our
and addressing
questions.
us.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
exactly-
Sorry we missed.
That's exactly what we want is.
Yeah, I know.
So that we can answer questions.
She left me in charge of it last time too, and I just completely forgot. So don't hold it on Nikki. That
It works.
Only.
We get it, and it may seem nitpicky, but I mean,
No, I
we
get it.
want to make sure that our bases are covered. And
Especially when
our-
alcohol gets involved.
Exactly.
Right, so, no, that's fine.
Thank you.
Motion to approve the SDL for Flower Brewing Company.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the special designated license for Flyover Brewing Company for June 27th. Any further discussion? Okay, good.
Good.
Roll call vote, please.
John?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Blake?
Yes.
NACO update, John Cannon. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good morning.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for Kate for putting me on the agenda. I appreciate it. My name is John Cannon. I'm the Executive Director of your Nebraska Association of County Officials. You've heard me say this before, but I'll say it again. It is your association. If you want me to point out the carpet square that belongs to you, Robin, I can do that, or the brick that's got Don's name, I can do that. But the point is that NACO is owned by all 93 counties and all 1,500 elected county officials across the state. So that's why I'm here. I consider all of us, including me, to be employees of every elected official across the state. So while it's fun to invite you to, say, a workshop that might be later on this week, or our annual conference, or any of the seminars or webinars that we put on, it's way more meaningful when you go where you live. And so that's the reason that we're here. I noticed when I first got to NACO several years ago as the deputy that there were a few counties, one of them wasn't Banner, that they just weren't showing up to a lot of stuff. And I kept getting a lot of questions from those counties about, you know, how's the Open Meetings Act work, and how's this work, and how's the other thing work? And I'm like, you know, we talk about this at our conferences. Okay, we just don't attend. I said, okay, well, there's obviously a gap that needs to be bridged. On the one hand, I want to make sure that I'm able to get the information that's out to counties that they need to have, but also to you know, so every county across the state knows here are the resources that NACO has. Here's what we're able to provide to you, and so you know, that, and just as a, for instance, Mark, one of the things that we do at our annual conference last year, we had 12 hours of CLE that was approved by the Bar Association. You know, those sorts of little details to make sure that we're taking care of all of our elected officials. A lot of folks in the Capitol, they think of NACO as a lobbying organization. The governor refers to us as a special interest group. I don't think that's the case. I tell folks in the state government that we are intergovernmental partners because counties are political subdivisions of the state. We're creatures of the state under the Rule and Dillon's case. But primarily what we do is education and a lot of direct aid for counties. And I want to go through what those resources are. And so that packet that I handed out, that Katie handed out to you, you know, that first page, you got a lot of different dates on there about events that we have coming up. And so one of the first ones is tomorrow is our land use permit forum. That's gonna be on June 3rd. There's no registration fee for it. It's kind of being rolled into the county board workshop. We do ask that you register. I think we've got about 108 people that are registered so far. And we're going to talk about planning and zoning. That's going to be a large part of it. There was a bill that got passed this last year, LB 663, which I'll talk about in a moment, which puts a shot clock on planning and zoning committees or commissions and county boards when it comes to approving conditional use permits. That's kind of a big deal. And so we want to make sure that we've got everyone's ducks in a row when it comes to best practices for planning and zoning and whatnot. So we got a lot of information that's going to be part of that forum. And our county board workshop is June 3 and 4. We're going to have topics that include Board of Equalization since we're getting ready for protest season, labor, Open Meetings Act, wildfire response, EMS task force update. Each individual district, so Panhandle, West Central, Central, Southeast, Northeast, they'll each have their own breakout sessions where they can all kind of powwow about common issues that they've got going on. We work a lot with the treasurers, and so we're helping them with their workshop, which is June 9th through June 11th. We help the clerks, their RODs, and election commissioners workshop, that's June 16th through 18th. And we also help with the assessors workshop, and that's going to be August 23 through 27. Our district meetings will be in the fall, and Panhandle is going to be September 23rd, so I hope to see you all there. I think we're in Gering this year, this fall. Maybe it's Bridgeport, but I think it's Gering this time. So I look forward to seeing you all there as well. So at the district meetings, we usually, as you guys know, we have a lot of information that we put out there as well as kind of timely information that's going on. Our legislative conference is going to be Friday, October 16th in Burwell. I don't know if you guys recall, there was a huge derecho that went through a few years ago and it took out the grandstand at the Big Little Rodeo in Burwell. The fifth largest rodeo in the country, by the way, which I think is kind of cool. Took out their grandstands, and so they fixed it. They had some temporary grandstands. They also got a grant from the federal government, and they poured concrete for their main grandstand. The place is beautiful. It looks like a palace. I would eat off the floor, except now they've got horses and stuff moving in. I think maybe I'm not going to do that. But that's where we're going to have our legislative conference. And the reason we have that legislative conference every year is because there's an awful lot of times that I've heard from individual county board members, individual county assessor, the clerk, the treasurer, the county attorney, the sheriff, there ought to be a law about whatever. And that legislative conference is the opportunity for folks to come with NACO board present and say, here's what I think the law, that law should be. Here's what I think should be NACO's legislative priority for the upcoming session. And so the NACO board hears all this stuff, and I can tell you that, the assessors, the clerks, treasurers, attorneys, the sheriffs, lead superintendents, highway superintendents, they're all incredibly well organized. They've started through their own groups as far as getting a legislative committee together and starting to work with Beth Farrell on getting legislation almost in bill draft form for the NACO board to consider. If you guys have any ideas of your own that you want the NACO board to consider, let me know, let Beth know, Candace or Elaine. We'll make sure that it gets drafted up in a way that the board can take a look at it and actually take action on something that we might want to pursue as a legislative priority. Once that conference is over, it's my job to go find senators that are going to sponsor legislation for us, and it's I'll go find whomever. We'll have a meeting shortly right after the legislative conference is over. Beth and I will figure out, okay, who are the good targets for are the most likely targets for the legislation we want to bring. I'll make a lot of appointments and we'll talk to the senators. We've had really, really good luck. I mean, people want to sponsor bills that NACO has, and so we think that we'll do that as well for this year. But, the one thing I can ask you guys, though, is that when it comes to NACO legislation, engagement with your state senators, Brian Hardin is absolutely vital to that whole effort. I have found personally that when I go to talk to any state senator about any issue that NACO has, they start off the conversation by saying, I've already talked to one of my board members, I've already talked to my assessor, I've already talked to my county attorney, the sheriff. I know that conversation is going to go real, real well because you guys implicitly understand the issue way better than I ever will. All I get to do is kind of be that go-between. And generally speaking, your engagement really kind of gets things over the finish line for us. And so I know that the number of you guys have talked to Senator Hardin in the past, so I'll just tell you to keep doing that. Keep them on your Christmas card list, make them a tray of cookies or whatever you need to do to make them think of us favorably. So, and that's the legislative conference. And then the annual conference will be December 16th through 18th at the Unis Center north of Kearney. A lot of information we're gonna have there. We've got a lot of speakers coming in from all over the state, all over the country. Really on stuff that here's how we can make county government work a little bit more efficiently, and here's some of the resources that are out there available that you might not be aware of. We had a webinar on county budget prep. That was last week. I think at least one of you guys from Banner was on that call, and Candace didn't tell me who, so I apologize if I'm just spouting into the wind. But that webinar has been recorded, and it's available for any of you to take a look at if you want to. And again, it's just kind of, we're getting into budget season. It's just kind of a reminder of here are the things to watch out for as far as all the laws the legislature's given us lately about how our property tax requests work and how our budgets are supposed to work and all that good stuff. We have a number of newsletters as far as, again, going back to the resources that we try to get out there. We have a 93 newsletter that comes out every Friday. There's a lot of information, kind of the top level stuff of what's going on at NACO that we want you guys to be aware of. And then during the legislative session, Beth Farrell puts together a legislative newsletter. She does a really nice job. That comes out every Friday during the legislative session and just kind of says, here's what the legislature has done, here's what's coming up in the next week, here's what to watch out for. And kind of in addition to that, we have our FAC. And I'm of a certain age where FAC meant something completely different. We call it our Friday action call. And on that, it looks more like the FAC that I'm kind of accustomed to, where we really kind of talk very frankly about what's going on in the legislature. Here's the inside baseball and stuff that we want you to know. And I remember after the first time we did that, I looked over at Candace, I'm like, we're not recording this, are we? And she's like, no. And I'm like, thank goodness, because I would get myself into a lot of trouble if this ever got out there. Not amongst county officials, but folks in the legislature. So, because I have opinions and I'll express them from time to time. So in your packet as well, the second page we have there is a thing that will take you to our Nebraska Counties Explorer page. So that's just a one-pager that we have on Banner County. It gives you demographic information, tax information, education, infrastructure, broadband, coverage, all that good stuff. And on the bottom right-hand corner, there's a QR code. If you scan it with your phone, it will take you to the County Explorer webpage for Banner County. There's more information on there than you might ever want. How many acres you have in grass and how many acres of irrigated dry, how many wellheads you have drilled. Just more, it's information that we've collected and harvested from U.S. Census Bureau, the Department of Revenue, the University of Nebraska, other sources, other primary sources that we really want to have as a one-stop shop that's got all the information about Banner County. And so we think that's very, very helpful for county officials to have. We think it's very, very helpful for constituents to have. When you're visiting with Senator Hardin, it's not a bad thing to say, here's some basic information about Banner County. We think it's just one of those helpful little things that we try to produce for you guys. And then along with that, we have the next page of your packet. We have understanding Banner County's share of the property tax. We put this together because you guys probably heard people get super excited about property taxes, and almost every decision that you guys make is going to involve spending money in some way, shape, or form. And people get really, really excited about property taxes in general. What we want to do is we want to relate that to a number of things. Here's how we start with a valuation based in Banner County, and that translates to our property tax request. And you take that and turn that into a levy rate, and you turn that levy rate against the average assessed value for single-family residential in the county, and that levy rate against that thing will tell you here's how much that Banner County is charging. It's like $730 or something like that in property taxes for all the things that you get from the county, which is roads and bridges and law enforcement, jails, courts, and elections, which people seem to think are pretty important. And frankly, In my experience, people aren't asking for less of that. They're generally asking for more. I'm sure you're not getting complaints from people that you graveled their roads too much. I suspect you're getting kind of probably the opposite, right? So we think this is a very helpful thing to say, here's where we sit in, the whole spectrum of what property taxes go toward. It's a very helpful graphic. When I use it with people that I know that live in Lancaster County or other counties and they're complaining about their property taxes, they say, here's what the counties are up to. Tell us what you want us to cut. And then after you tell us what you want us to cut, tell your legislators what you want them to cut. And almost every single time they're like, no, you guys are fine. I don't have a problem with the county spending. Okay, then, there you go. Now, the reason you catch all the complaints, by the way, is because we're 20%, well, you got, in Banner County, you guys are 30% of the total property tax load. We are 100% of the process. KC sets your values. You have to fiddle with Turk at some point. You just got to conclude that a month and a half ago. And then she sends out the notice of valuation change. You guys get to sit as a county board of equalization and hear protests on those. Casey's going to roll over the valuations to, well, she's going to send out, certify the valuations to all the political subdivisions, and then she's going to roll over the valuations to the treasurer. Treasurer sends out the tax statements. We collect, we distribute all the monies. Sometimes we have to foreclose on properties and put things up for tax sale. We're the whole process. And so that means that all complaints are going to be lodged with you guys. And so, sorry about that, but again, we're only 30% of the load. And that's I think is an important thing to understand. Also, and it's not in your packet, but on the NACO webpage, nebraskacounties.org, if you look under the advocacy tab, we have a whole bunch of legislative policy primers. And when I was talking about the legislative conference that we have, and here's how NACO takes on its legislative priorities, those primers will tell you why NACO has taken the position that it has on a number of different bills, why we thought it was important for us to put it in front of the legislature. And there's just an awful lot of information. We talk about the issue, we talk about who the stakeholders are, what we think the recommended solution should be. And so if you ever have a question as to why NACO has a position on something, look first on those primers and see if those are able to provide the right information for you. But if not, call me. Call Beth, call Wayne, call Candace, and we'll answer your questions. So I also want to talk about the National Association of Counties. This year they have a campaign. It's called We Are Counties. I can't say that without doing the Farmers Mutual. We are counties. Bum, 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 bum. But and so we call ours We Are Nebraska Counties because I don't want people singing a silly song when they're talking about our slogan for our campaign. That's our contribution. What we're asking folks to do is tell your story. Tell the story about Banner County, things that you have going on, things that when people are going up to Hubbard's Gap. Right? Did I get that right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Things that you have going on in the community, how you're going to celebrate the 250th, whatever you have going on, send that to us. We'll post it on our blog. We'll share it amongst, other county officials across the state. That'll be there for your citizens to look at, for other county officials to look at. That's just, kind of what we want to do as far as telling the county story for this year, for as part of that campaign. And speaking of NACO, they are a partner of ours. Your dues, part of your dues go toward paying National Association dues. What we do though is we subsidize about 10% of that cost. And so ordinarily you guys would pay $450 for your National Association dues. We increased our NACO dues by $405. So we picked up 10% of the cost of your NACO dues. So we think that's important because that 100% membership does a lot of stuff for us on the national level where we have a little bit more of a voice. And so we thought that was important enough to do that. And from that, I'll tell you that the National Association of Counties, there's a lot of resources they have available for all 3,069 county boroughs and parishes across the country. They have webinars, they have conferences, they have a whole bunch of different things going on in all areas of the calendar. And so I'd certainly recommend taking a look at their website and seeing what resources are available for you guys, because it's there's a ton, there's a lot. For what it's worth, their annual conference is coming up next month. It's like July 16th through 21st. And it's going to be in New Orleans. And I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to being in the bayou in the middle of July. It's going to be great. So, yeah. Hopefully there's the air conditioning is working at wherever we're staying. So that's NACO, the National Association of Counties. I also want to mention MIPS. All of your offices are on MIPS. That's Multi-County Information and Programming Services. We provide the software solution for the assessor, the clerk, the treasurer. We've really been focusing lately on GIS and having a viable GIS platform, and that'll be part of the assessor's package. But that's going to have application for every office in the county. So Your EMS will be able to make use of it. We're gonna have a module for them. The sheriff will be able to use it, so we'll have something just for Zane. We're gonna have things for the weed superintendents, the highway superintendents, all that good stuff. That's something that we're developing currently, and we are modeling, I think we're piloting. Box Butte County is going to, either they went live last week or they're going live this week. So it's kind of a really neat function, and we're looking forward to rolling that out for more robustly for everybody else. We also have NACO Benefit Services. That is our health insurance pool that we make available to all counties across the state. We don't make people go into our pool because if you can get a better deal through your broker, we totally get that. But what we're trying to do is have this pool where, essentially that shared risk lowers everybody's premiums overall. And so you've had Judd and Jessica and Mike come out and visit with you guys before, so I'll leave it at that. We also have our NACO West Training Center. That is the big building in Ogallala we built a few years ago. We built that primarily because in order for us to project our resources across the state to all 93 counties, we have to have a Western location. And the board very graciously said we should build a building instead of rent. And I thought that's a terrific idea. And so we put that thing in Ogallala. Frankly, I get a little bit of static from folks in the eastern part of the state that say, well, why did NACO spend their money there? I said, well, we should be spending our money all across the state. But then also, what I've done to really illustrate the point is that if you took, we all know that the population of the state tilts toward the east, but if you took a line north-south of Cozad, that divides the state roughly in its landmass, 38,500 square miles of land are going to be to the east of that line, 38,500 square miles of land are going to be to the west of that line. And if you look at the population of county officials, 40% of them live west of that line. And so that geographic distribution is a little bit more even across the state. And so we serve county officials, we don't serve populations. And so for that reason, we thought it was appropriate for us to have that building there. We've got a training center that's top of the state of the art, top of the line. We want to make sure the thing's teched out so that people can use it for its intended purpose. I had dinner with Peggy and Shelley last night, and they said, we really wish that actual county officials, we rent it out to, like the accountants and the bar association and whatnot. Peggy said, we really wish more county officials would make use of the space. And so you guys are the first people I've talked to since I had dinner with Peggy, so you get to hear that plea from her. We also have some preferred partners, D.A. Davidson. They provide low interest financing, lease purchase program for counties, the U.S. Bank purchase card program. So if you've got purchase cards, they've got some low interest P cards out there for you for your county employees. The National Association's Public Promise Procurement has put cost-effective, efficient purchasing programs for you if you've got like long-term contracts that you want to enter into. Cash Vest by 3+1. I'm going to take a second to describe it, especially since Katie's here. It's a thing that doesn't tell you how you invest your money. It just offers recommendations on how you can move money around at different times of the year so that you're maximizing the rates of return that you're getting. And so I will just use as an example, Lancaster County was one of the first ones that used 3+1. They're putting things into money market accounts and they're moving things over to CDs and they're doing it at different times of the year. And in the last 5 years, it's yielded them an extra $24 million. That is real money, folks. Now, obviously, Banner County is slightly different than Lancaster County as far as its size is concerned, but I mean, that $24 million they use it to buy down the levy. And so as a resident of Lancaster County, I think that's awesome. And if it's a smaller amount in Banner County, that's still real money. So I can't recommend that program enough. So I put that in your packet because I think it's that important. NPAID is an actual investment vehicle. It's Nebraska Public Agency's investment trust. And they do the actual investing, and they've gotten some pretty high rates of return for them. And then Zell HR Solutions, I think there was a question that you'd had, Katie, about human resources. Zell is the partner that we use for a lot of human resources stuff. They do different things for counties depending on what you want. They can help you with a job search. They can draft an employee manual for you. They can actually be the whole HR function if you want. And so they kind of do everything in between. Several years ago, NACO first partnered with them in 2018 when they were looking for a deputy director for Larry Dix and someone that eventually would become their executive director. And they picked me, so I think these guys are awesome. I'll just leave it at that. So I do want to talk a little bit about legislation, but I've taken up about 20 minutes already, so I'll try to make it as brief as I can. Before I talk about any specific piece of legislation, I do want to say that engagement is so absolutely vital. I've mentioned that already. Talking to Senator Hardin is one of the best things that you guys can do because it really gets the county story in front of him so he understands how this stuff works. Invite him to your board meetings, especially if you've got like maybe a budget meeting that's coming up or if you've got something particularly controversial, because these folks that sit in our legislature that pass judgment on local political subdivisions and local officials, they need to understand what you guys go through on a weekly and daily basis. Because if they don't understand how the Open Meetings Act says that we have to run our meetings, if they don't understand how the County Budget Act says how we have to run our budgets, if they don't understand how any of this stuff works, they're going to pass laws with no idea what the effect it's going to have on an individual county. And so invite Senator Hardin to your board meetings if you can. I certainly recommend it. You might even be, sly enough to have Katie give him a call and say, Senator, we've got you down for the next board meeting on the 16th. What time slot do you want? And see how he responds. He might respond negative. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I can't recommend that highly enough. That engagement as a piece is very, very vital. And in addition to that, I would also recommend reaching out to our friends at Farm Bureau, and also any of the chambers of commerce even the Scottsbluff Chamber of Commerce, because Main Street and the ag industry, they need to understand how we can row the boat forward together. If we're all off on our separate corners trying to figure out different ways we can make the state grow, we're going to come back. This happens to me all the time over in Lincoln, that we all go off to our own separate corners. We talk about the things that we want to do, and then we meet each other sometime in November or December, say, here's what we're working on, and we point at each other and say, I hate what you guys are doing. And they point their fingers at us and say, we hate what you guys are doing too, NACO. We might like the idea, but we don't always agree on the particulars. So that is something I'd recommend as well. So please engage. So a couple of bills that I do want to mention, and again, I don't want to take up too much time. Ask questions if you want, but I'm dying up here. It's like a stand-up comic, but no one's laughing. But particularly a couple of bills I want to mention. First one is LB 596. This has to do with the Open Meetings Act. There's some changes to the Open Meetings Act that are coming up. It removes the requirement to post meeting notices on a statewide repository. 4 times a year, you have to publish in your newspaper of general circulation what your schedule is going to be for your regular board meetings. But a couple other things that came out of that. One, you no longer have to have a copy of the Open Meetings Act hanging on the wall. The way it was drafted a long time ago, the Attorney General interpreted that to mean you have to have it actually physically posted on the wall, or else the whole thing's invalid. You have to have a copy of the Open Meetings Act available to the public if they so desire. And just out of curiosity, because I've asked this question at every board meeting I've gone to, how many times have you had a member of the public stand up, walk over to the copy of the Open Meetings Act, look at it, read it, and say, I think you guys are doing it wrong? I'm going to guess that nobody's ever done that in your entire time doing this.
I think we've had that here.
Have you actually had that?
I think we actually have that.
Yeah.
That is the best news I've had all day. I will no longer be able to say that I've never had
It's been
people
a
tell me
couple of
that.
years, but I think it has happened.
That is awesome. You know what? Good for you for having that engage a citizenry. But typically they don't. But if you have it available, and frankly, if you have it on a laptop, I think that's something that would satisfy what the law requires. A couple other things that went into LB 596. One of them increases marriage license fees from $25 to $50 and a certified copy from $9 to $16. If you have ever worked with the legislature on increasing fees for county government, it's like pulling teeth. When you explain it to them from the sense of, look, if the cost of government is X and we're only allowed to charge a fee, whatever that delta is, whatever that difference is between the actual cost and the fee that we charge, that's property taxes. And you tell them that and they hate that. And so that was the argument that we used as far as increasing marriage license fees. We also had another bill, LB 900, where we increased the distress warrant fee from $2 to $20. $2 doesn't even cover the cost of turning on the car. And Zane will tell you that if he has to serve a distress warrant, having that appropriate fee on there is going to be a good thing rather than a bad thing. The other thing in LB 596 that we did was we changed the durable medium that you're supposed to use for preservation of records. And so, everything is supposed to be saved on microfilm. I don't know about you guys. I'm 55 years old. First learned about microfilm, first encountered it 50 years ago. And back then, 50 years ago, it was ancient. That was an ancient technology. It was old and musty, and who wants to use this stuff, right? We all have our phones. We're accustomed to looking at things in terms of ones and zeros. It doesn't make a lot of sense for us to say that we're going to preserve everything on microfilm, especially when the cost of microfilming is so expensive. We have a microfilming division that we use, and it's only we don't make a profit off the thing. It's only a cost recovery system. And I can tell you that the cost of film, the cost of chemicals, and the cost of equipment has skyrocketed in the last several years, 800% in the last 5 years alone. That's not really a good thing for county government, especially when, oh, by the way, if we have everything digitally, we can make it more available for our constituents. And so that got put into LB 596. We're pretty happy about that. For Kathy, I will mention that LB 838 passed, which allows transactions to be routed up or down to the nearest nickel. And so, oh, by the way, the US Mint last year said we're no longer producing pennies, and that made a penny shortage all across the state. And so anyway, being able to round up and down to the nearest nickels is going to help because, oh, by the way, the Constitution says we have to make the exact change. We can't commute taxes or fees at the county level. And so I don't think anyone's going to sue on this bill. Mark, I don't know, you can advise your board. I think the commutation of tax or fee is still an issue, but I don't think anyone's going to quibble over pennies. And if they do, please let me know because I want to see how that lawsuit goes. I did want to mention LB 803, which has to do with pink postcards. And so for this year, the only change that is going to be made is that if you want to increase your property tax request from last year, it requires a 2/3 majority vote, supermajority vote of the board. For a 3-person board, that's the same as it always has been. It had been just a simple majority vote. So for 5-member boards, they had to have 3, now they have to have 4. For 7-member boards, they had to have 4. And under the original version of the law, they would have to have 5, but then Douglas County got really upset, and so they said, and in 7 county boards, you only have to have 4. You only have to have 4 people vote for it. So what do? We said 23 counties have to have 4 votes instead of 3. But okay, that made people happy, and that's what's going to happen with that. But going forward, starting next year, the pink postcard process is going to change. So first of all, the whole process is going to begin actually in June and stretch into July. And so we'll have our joint public hearing in July instead of September. It'll be at a time before we actually get into budget hearings. Right now, as you know, when you have it in September, budget's already done, right?
It's gonna be way better.
Yeah,
Way better.
well, let's see what Casey thinks, because the thing
I
that we're
have
going to
opinions.
change, what's that?
I have opinions.
You have opinions? I'm glad. The thing that we changed in 803 is that the change evaluation notice that Casey should have sent out on or before yesterday. Right now, as it stands, it has one line. It says, here's your prior year evaluation, here's your current year evaluation. If you don't like that, you need to file a protest with the county board. Next year, it's going to be prior year and current year for the columns, but you're going to have a few extra lines. So you still have your value, and then every line after that is going to be county, city, school district, and here's how much tax was levied against you in the prior year based on your valuation. And if the valuation if the levy rate remains the same, here's how much tax that new value would yield as a result of that. There's going to be a part that says, if you don't like your valuation, we welcome you to file a protest with your county clerk. Oh, by the way, if you don't have information sufficient for the valuation to be changed as part of your protest, it will be dismissed. And if you don't like the effect that your valuation will have on the taxes that you pay, you need to go to the budget hearing. And
Who will be able to dismiss that? The Board of Equalization or the assessor?
the Board of Equalization. Okay. Yeah. What my recommendation, and frankly, you could kind of do that anyway, in my opinion, and I'll defer to Mark, but my recommendation has always been, if you've got someone that sends you a protest that says, I just don't like paying taxes, put that in the pile, and put those protests in a pile and say, motion to dismiss. You guys have your packets before the board meeting. If anyone says, no, I think they're actually talking about something that changes the valuation here, then you can pull it on up. But I think that's essentially how it's going to play out. Someone writes in their protest, there's no way that my property would sell for this amount. That's not telling you why the value should be changed, right? Have that in your packet, have it as part of a group of protests that we're going to dismiss these in all likelihood because it doesn't have information sufficient for us to find a lower value. So anyway, that change evaluation notice will come out. It'll have another part on it that says, if you don't like the effect that the value has on your taxes, you got to go to the budget hearing. You'll get a postcard from the state in July. And that joint public hearing, everyone's going to attend. The county and the school district will have to be there. I all said city, but you guys don't have a city with a first, second, or primary class. So you'll have the county and the school district have to be there. You're going to put on it's going to be informational only. You're going to put on a presentation that says, here's how we go from a budget to a property tax request, or from a valuation base to a budget to a property tax request to your individual tax bill. And then there's gonna be an opportunity for someone from the county to say, here's what we're looking at, folks. We've got our insurance rates went up 10%, cost of gravel's up 12.5% year over year. These are the things that we have to buy a new squad car for the sheriff's office. We need to buy a new road grader. If you really have a lot of heartburn about that, budget hearing is going to be on this day at this place here in the courthouse. And people have to be, I mean, the only way, in my opinion, that you can reasonably affect the property tax situation in our state and still have the services that people expect out of local government is for people to go to the budget hearing and make their feelings known. If, because from your perspective, if no one shows up to the budget hearing and you're looking at, hey, we need to increase this and we need to increase that, you're going to do it, right? And oh, by the way, how many people show up to the budget hearings? Typically not many in those counties that I've gone to. And so that's really what has to happen. People need to show up. And if they don't show up, then,
We had quite a few last year.
awesome. I love that. Civic engagement is probably the most important thing that you guys can be promoting in any county across the state.
Can I ask a question on that?
You just did.
That was not very mature of me. Anywho, currently the pink postcards go out on the levy after like the budget process is worked.
Yep.
So on the valuation notice in the coming years, it's going to be the current levy.
Yes. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
So is the second postcard that comes out in July going to be the like estimation of the
nope,
new?
there are going to be no numbers on the postcard.
That's the frustrating part.
Well, so and the reason though, and this is kind of actually a problem of our own making. There are a lot of not counties. Counties we're as pure as the driven snow. There are a lot of political subdivisions that aren't counties, like school districts and cities. And any of our friends from the cities here, by the way, because I don't want to get into trouble.
We don't have an incorporated.
Oh, any of our, I'm sorry, any of our, I knew that. Any of our friends from the school district? No, okay. There are a lot of subdivisions across the state that they keep their levy rate the same, and they're like, we didn't raise the levy. And people are like, well, my property taxes went up, and it's a dodge that has been happening for 100 years, and I don't think it's the appropriate way of doing that, and so you kind of put it on there and say, if the levy rate remains the same, here's what's going to happen with your taxes.
Especially if the levy goes up, then they get their tax statements and they're like, oh, we don't need to go to the budget hearing because I think this is reasonable. Then they get their tax statement and they're like, what the heck?
Right.
That's frustrating.
It is
It's gonna seem
frustrating.
like we're lying to them.
Yeah, no, I get that. So,
That's my concern, I guess.
no, it's a legit concern. Frankly, my premise has always been that more transparency on the valuation and the budgeting and the property taxation process is going to be better. For one, our public, because they're the ones that actually end up paying the taxes, but two, for us in general, because the more informed the citizenry is, the better off you guys are as a board are going to be to answer those questions, I think.
I do have one more follow-up question too. You said there'll be a presentation at the joint public hearing explaining how the process works.
Yep.
Which I think is great. Is that something that you guys are going to provide for every county?
Yeah, we're gonna do a whole video. It's gonna be a production. The school boards and the cities, as much as I kind of slagged them just a moment ago, they're gonna work with us to put this video together, and that should be good. We'll see. We're gonna find out. If you have a new executive director next year, we'll know that the whole thing failed miserably. So fingers crossed. And then the last bill, by the way, I have dozens of pages of bills I'd love to talk about it, but time is short. The last bill I want to mention is LB 663. That is the shot clock thing. What this does on planning and zoning, what this does is it says if you get a condition. Actually, did you guys pick up zoning recently?
No.
You never had zoning? You know what?
We're thinking.
What's that?
We're thinking.
Some of us are thinking.
I'll leave it at that. I will mention a couple bills that did not pass. LB 468 had to do with inheritance tax. We worked incredibly hard with Senator Clements to find replacement revenue. Oh, by the way, they started off this year with a $647 million budget deficit, and so there was no replacement revenue. That thing wasn't able to go anywhere. That's unfortunate because he worked really, really hard to try and find those avenues for us. LB 1219 was a bill that would have limited property tax requests to 2% plus growth over the prior year, which was a terrible idea. Didn't have any exceptions for public safety or for bond indebtedness or any of that sort of thing. Terrible policy. You can't make every county across the state fit into the same box. It doesn't make any sense. And the last bill that didn't pass, Casey would probably know, LB 1019. This has to do with assessors and the law of trespass. There was an attorney general opinion that came out last year that said that an assessor can be charged or can be liable for trespass if they're on someone's property. Oh, by the way, the assessor has an affirmative obligation to inspect and review every parcel of real property, no less frequently than once every 6 years. And so how you're able to reconcile those two, I'm not entirely certain, but that's why Mark gets paid the big bucks, is to figure out whether he's going to, throw Casey in jail for doing her job. I'll leave that at that. I'm gonna throw that little bomb and it's time for me to go, but if you guys have any questions for me, happy to answer it.
Not have anything.
Thank you for coming, John.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for your time. I know that was a lot.
We need to just come more often and then it wouldn't take so long.
All right, well, you need to talk to my boss, which is Candace Meredith, and she will approve all of my travel requests. I'm gonna put my card out there for you guys. Feel free to call me day or night. I have taken phone calls at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. And it's cool because my wife is taking phone calls at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. So we've got the whole thing figured out. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yes.
Safe travels.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, resolution, did you guys have questions for Don? Sure, that's those. No. Resolution transferring funds from weed fund to inheritance tax. We're tabling this, correct, to June 16th? Okay. Interlocal agreement for emergency mutual aid and assistance.
You went over 10.
What's that?
You went over 10?
No, we tabled that till June 16th.
Okay,
That's
that's
that resolution transfer from weed to inheritance and, yeah. Mark, do you have comments on this interlocal agreement?
No, you just need a motion to rescind signatures of prior agreements and sign the agreement that was presented May 10th.
Rescind prior and approve this one.
I will make that motion to rescind the interlocal agreement for emergency mutual aid and to accept the revised agreement dated May 10th.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to rescind the prior approval of the agreement, interlocal agreement for emergency mutual aid and assistance, and approve the revised agreement dated May 10th. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Donna, second.
Yes.
Yeah, later, or Dawn, sorry.
Don,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Discuss and approve trailer bid. Eric? Tim?
Eric is not here. And I just been thrown into this, so, I have no idea where you guys are at on this. But, give a little backstory. Our current lowboy trailer is either late 60s or early 70s trailer, 50 years old. And it has multiple cracks in the frame and underneath that have been welded. It is not a good trailer. It needs to go down the road. It is not big enough to haul the road graders, the only thing. And like I said, it's not in good shape. The tires are out of date, hard to fix. We did purchase another, it's like a car trailer, but heavier duty with a tilt deck to haul the excavator. We got a really good deal on it a year ago. So in our long-term plan to upgrade equipment, this is something that we need to do is replace the trailer. And the one we're looking at would be a 62,000 DVW, which means it's about 50,000 capacity. It is 35 feet long enough to carry both the excavator and skid steer in one load. And it is also a pedal hitch trailer, so we can utilize the dump truck to pull it with. And we don't need to have a tractor to pull it. So I have the bid of the one we're looking at. I didn't make copies, I apologize. That comes in, I'm not sure what FET tax is, if we have to pay that or if that would be waived. But the total with that tax is 36,000, and there's a spec sheet on it. And we've also got a couple other comparisons.
Same page.
Did you got that one already?
We have that.
Yeah. I'll take that back then. But I also have a couple comparable. There's no price on this, but it's the same trailer and it's in Ohio. This one here does have a price, and when you read through the fine print, the pricing are about the same. So I'm confident that that trailer there is definitely in the market at a fair price.
Which one are
The
you?
Kaufman trailer is the one
Recommending, Tim?
we're interested in. The other two just gives you a comparison of what's out there, what's available. This Kaufman is in Beaver City, Nebraska. The base price is 28,000, but we need ramps and a spare tire. That's why it brings it up to 32, and then the FET tax brings it up to 36. I'm not sure if that FET tax is something we have to pay or not.
It's federal excise.
Okay, so we do have to pay it then.
I believe I had a conversation with Eric when he introduced this, that it is in the budget for
I talked with Kathy
25,
this morning,
26, and so
and
we should be good to get this through before
we
June
can push it
30th.
through before the end of the year, and this is, like I said, this is part of our long-term plan to improve our machinery situation. And this trailer is spec'd to carry the dozer. I believe it should carry one of our loaders. It's not big enough to carry a road grader, but that's not what we're after here.
Is my understanding that we are going to sell the other tilt deck trailer?
The tilt deck that we bought a year ago, yes.
Would it be traded onto this, or would it be sold outright?
It'd probably be sold outright
Okay.
to Purple Wave they hired. Now, when we purchased that trailer,
It was
understood that it was a temporary purchase.
It was,
to tide us
it
over.
was discussed, and it was also a very special price, as I recall.
And the low boy trailer, like I said, it needs to go down the road for it, thought it's back.
Having said that, don't load it up and take it.
Well,
Gotta use it.
I have no other option. I mean, it's still licensed and insured, but how much longer can we keep fixing junk? Pretty soon you have nothing.
All right, thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
You guys have more questions for Tim?
I think we should be exempt from that excise tax. I haven't had a chance to really research.
So our motion could be for no more than the 36,064, that way it would cover it either way.
Correct.
Sound fair?
Yes. Did you make that motion then?
I will, if you want me to.
Please do.
I will make a motion to purchase the Kaufman trailer for no more than 36,164.80.
That's it?
I think so.
Second.
Do you need more?
Nope.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the purchase of the trailer from Kaufman Trailers LLC at $36,000, no more than Robin, no more than $36,164.80. Any further discussion? Does that work for you, Tim? Is that what you needed?
Yeah, I think that's what we're after.
Any more questions, comments, blah, blah, blah? Roll call vote, please.
Don,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Luke,
Yes.
Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
Review and possible approval of a new door for the weed building.
Reality is the door's been ordered, so
I suppose I need to offer an apology, and I ordered a door, I signed the paperwork, and then Dawn says, hey, let's put this on the agenda. So, I got a quote here for $4,025.
and we talked about splitting that with weed and where's the road?
We can make some, because it's, I don't know, it belongs to the road department. We've always referred to it as a weed department building. I have to have a secure building to store chemicals.
Great.
And that door was not secure, and I did put a latch on the inside.
For a
It's
while.
been a long-term
Been an
issue.
issue.
Long term.
3
But I
years,
noticed the
know.
hinges are starting to, it's an old wooden door, it's about ready to fall off. It's not in good shape. So,
I don't think there's actually a need that we have to approve it, but
okay.
Budget's good on that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As long as your budget's good, you're
Yeah.
good, Tim. Like,
yep, no foul.
Very well then.
So that's all with that. Sorry.
Alright. Thanks, Tim, for doing that. That's needed done for a long time. West Nile virus prevention supplies. 'Tis the season, right?
So you get $250, I see, to help prevent the spread of West Nile. All you have to do is sign the letter, pass it.
It's for deep wipes or
Yeah.
bug spray or.
Yep.
I think we choose what we want, correct?
I really think so.
Do you know what has worked the best in the past, Katie, by chance? Like, who will come get it?
all of it.
All of it?
Mhm. I set it on my calendar and it's.
Disappears.
Disappeared,
Good.
perfect.
Good, good, good. So please check off what would you like and the number. Like, what's numbers? Do they come in like a box of,
Well, the D-wipes are limited to 4, so I'd get 4.
oh, gotcha.
3
So 4
cans.
boxes of DEET wipes, DEET wipes. 3 Cutter bug spray cans. Maybe, what do you think, 20 informational brochures?
Sure.
Makes
I'm
sense.
just throwing numbers.
You're doing great.
And mosquito dumps.
I would assume that's those tablets that are put in standing water.
I would guess so.
You're right.
Yeah.
We still have one, so,
1 dunk.
one of those little,
How many of those do we want? Do you get rid of those?
Yeah, I think we usually get 2 or 3, and I think we have 1 left over from last year, and I'm
So
not
3?
really sure why we have 1 left over, but,
3?
3,
yeah.
perfect.
Alright.
Please send a note along and ask them to put your name at the top.
Yeah, I seen that.
So I'll make a motion to get from Panhandle Public Health District 4 boxes of off DEET wipes, 3 boxes of Cutter's bug spray, 20 informational brochures, and 3 mosquito dunks to make available to our public at the courthouse.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to get from Panhandle Public Health 4 boxes of DEET wipes, 3 cans of Cutter's bug spray, 20 informational brochures, and 3 mosquito dunks to make available to the public at the courthouse. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
John,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
End of fiscal year meeting date. I would recommend on this one, we go with, say, June 29th. Gives Katie one day in there to,
the 29th will be fine.
does that work with you, Katie?
At what time?
Well, we gotta do like 7 AM, you know.
I'd like that. That's perfect. Get it done. It's middle of the day stuff.
You just said it and I'll be here. What works for you two? 8:30, same
8:30,
time, that way we stay
Everything's
consistent.
consistent.
Thanks for not making me get up at 5.
I would do that.
8:30,
And that'll be just for the DOC. I don't have to worry about the BOE, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, we don't have anything on equalization to. All right, end of fiscal year meeting will be June 29th, Monday, June 29th at 8:30 AM here in the courtroom. We don't have to vote on that, I don't think, do we? Good, Don?
Good.
Discussion and direction on comprehensive plan.
Okay, so I put this on here so that we could have a discussion about some funding that may or may not be needed. But it's something that us as a board we're gonna have to be thinking about, whether there is a chance that, our planning committee, may be needing some funding or some outside help from either JEO or PAD, to put this together. I think this is a good opportunity to address what we feel that might be. Perhaps one of us should look into what the cost would be before budget
I'm
time.
willing to do that
What we
if
think,
you're okay with that.
I'm fine with that, but what we think the cost would potentially be so that we can put a little money aside. We may want to, I don't know if the planning committee will have any additional expenses that could be incurred. I do expect where we are in a moratorium and where they are working on to some of these processes right now, I would expect that we could see some increased costs that we've never really experienced before. So that's kind of my lean in to this, or kind of my start to it. Also,
On that topic, can I interrupt you? On that
Please.
topic, I will look into the budget side of this and propose these numbers for you two to look at, if that's fair.
and do we have a spot that we
Talk
can
with
put that in?
JEO, PAD, we do not. So I will work with the guy, J13
to,
and get
okay.
these items, and put these I mean, we have time for this 26, 27 budget. I'll work with J13, get these numbers from PAD and JEO. And, do you guys have an amount, Zach, that you're looking at for travel, education?
I mean, numbers got thrown around, but we have no idea where to, I mean, we talked like 3,000 maybe, but I don't think we've
That's
used.
not enough.
Not enough, you don't think? See, we have no idea. I mean, we started at
Okay.
5 and then we went 3, and so somewhere in there was what we were thinking originally. But it's hard to say where we'd go, most likely it's back east, you know.
There's actually a meeting tomorrow in Kearney, and if I'd have thought before last Friday, I would have invited the whole board or at least part of the board, and you could still go. I think the board would approve.
What's the meeting?
Well, we're gonna talk about, and Sheila's been on this committee as well, we're gonna talk about the LB 663 and the toolbox that the NACO committee is working on to help counties understand what they need to look at as they go through the zoning process. Specifically for green energy stuff, confined animal feeding operations, which is not in our script. What's the other thing?
Anything,
Data centers.
anything that's gonna require conditional use,
Yep.
basically.
Well, we focused on kind of a narrow group of those things, but
wonder if there's somewhere in
the plan
budget
would work
maybe
for.
that could go in this meeting tomorrow, if there's somewhere in the budget we could
Um,
bring to. Yes, ma'am.
I raised my hand before I had to figure out how to put this together, so it's,
You can think and let me know, how's that sound?
okay, so LB 663 is specifically for counties that already have zoning regulations. Banner County, as Mr. Cannon stated, we do not here have zoning. The Nebraska Planning and Zoning Association actually has conferences that zoning administrators and planning commission members can attend. I would recommend those first, as they give you basic information. Their main conference is the first week in March in Kearney. They have fall conferences. And when I say a conference, it's webinars. But for the planning commission and for you as the board, I wouldn't jump into going to all these meetings until you know exactly where you're at. And I think, Blake, your idea of we need help consultants is absolutely the best idea that you have come up with. I totally agree.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you, Zach? We'll
Yeah,
work with you guys on that.
yeah. So, and I guess my only question is, so the budget, we're talking about the consultants, like we had to go to a third party, and get consulting help. Is that gonna fall in the planning committee budget too?
It will
That'll
go
all, okay.
Right.
to,
Because
yes.
you only talked about travel, really. I mean, we mentioned that, but we had no idea about that either, so we all just kicked around travel idea.
I'm looking at two separate lines for that. I don't know what you two are thinking, but
Definitely.
like
Yeah, meetings and
travel
stuff.
and lodging, blah, 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 for meetings, and then another separate line
Contract.
for this consultant with the comprehensive plan. That's what I was thinking.
Yes. I think
Am I on
that's
the same
appropriate.
page? Yes, ma'am.
Well, I think you might be on a page that you should reconsider, flippy page. There. Consultant work. We, in the past for Kimball County, have put it under the general fund because it benefits the entire county. The planning commission and planning and zoning budget entails travel, mileage, publications, capital outlay, maybe a laptop computer or a iPad, dues, subscriptions. But you can do whatever you want. I just told you what Kimball County does.
Well, yeah, and in the budget, that's what we're looking to incorporate. I'm assuming under general. I was gonna talk with our budget guy and
That's, yeah.
get that put in our new budget.
I would think that for things like consultants and that sort of stuff, this board needs to be the one that makes that decision, whether you enter into those agreements.
I'm sorry, like, Mark, I can't hear you.
I said for consulting and large outlays, I think this board needs to maintain control of and make those decisions. I would have no issue with, a budget line for the planning board for their travel and conferences. That makes complete sense. But before you enter into an agreement, you don't want your planning board binding you to a contract that that you didn't
Right, right.
approve or that you might not have.
Right, I thought that was the
Budget
plan,
for.
that I check into
So-
the financing and the consultants and come back to you two with
That,
with what I find, and then we,
Figure out where to go from there.
where to go on the budget, and we decide that together.
And if the planning board wants those things, then they need to be the ones who gather that information, provide it and present it to this board, and then this board makes the decision. I just want procedurally it to be clear of how that's gonna work. I think the planning board still needs to come to this board and ask for permission to attend conference A and have their lodging and mileage approved as well. I don't think they should have a line item and then just spend out it.
got it.
Because they are an appointed committee, none of them are elected. So,
It's fair.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And
That's
we,
exactly the discussion. The problem we're having here is kind of the problem we had at the planning committee, was differentiating consulting and conferences. You know, coming up with one number was really hard. It's kind of easy to pick one number for each thing.
but I appreciate you being here, Zach,
Yes,
because I feel
absolutely.
like the planning commission and this board, we've had miscommunication in the past. Of course, we haven't been super active in the previous years, but that's gonna change, so communication with you
Yeah.
is huge in my mind. We work with you. I mean, how do you know what we want if we don't tell you what we want? You have no direction. So I think the two of us working together,
actually, they look at what is best for the county and come to this board with their recommendation. This board should not be telling the
so
planning
they're
board
supposed to flop
what to
around
do.
out there and try and figure out what they're
That's
supposed
their
to do,
job.
because they've never
Right.
been active before.
Well, I mean, it's your terminology for flop around, but yes. They need to come to this board with a recommendation for if it's zoning, what that looks like. If it's no zoning, their justification for it. They make recommendations to this board. This board cannot and should not be making recommendations to that board.
So if this board would like to see something from our planning commission, how do we let Zach and Tina and Joe all know that we're looking at this? Can you do some background research and find it for us?
That's how you do it.
They're just out there flopping around.
Because we'll have to have some sort of direction or else
Comprehensive plan is your direction.
and that's what we need to.
And if it's not
And if
sufficient.
it's not sufficient, you will need to update it to cover the parts that are coming.
And that's kind of where we're looking for the help for you.
Yeah.
I say communication between your commission and this board is great. Call any one of us
Yep.
with questions, and
Yep, exactly.
I'll do my best to, I attend your meetings, so I'll do my best to,
Yeah.
you know, give you a direction instead of just flopping around trying to figure out what we're expecting when you don't really know unless we tell you.
Yeah.
Or ask you, I guess is the word.
Zach, we had, when we set this out, we put this moratorium in place, we had put kind of a time frame onto it that we wanted to see some activities and some things going. Can you give us kind of a brief overview as to what you have accomplished in the past? Well, what's that been, since March?
Since March, we've met once since March.
Okay,
We were meeting monthly and then we did not meet last month, as far as I know.
okay,
There could have been a meeting, I might not have been involved, but, so we focused on the moratorium at the beginning of the year.
right,
And then we rolled into the budget talk in April, talking about where do we go now that the moratorium's in place. We talked about the comprehensive plan, just about its overall and where we want to go with that. When I first joined the planning committee, we just kind of revised the comprehensive plan. We thought that that needed to be done again with this moratorium. So that's kind of where we're at right now, kind of up in the air, figuring out what direction we're planning on going with everything. Or how we can attack it all, you know, what the idea of the moratorium was, what the next step is to continue with that.
I think it will be a great help if we've done our job on the NACO committee to look over that toolbox, and that will give you some guidelines about what you need to do. But we may need to redo the comprehensive plan before we do anything.
Right,
Right.
I kind of see
If
that.
it
That,
is
that,
not
that toolbox at
sufficient.
this point in time is not beneficial to Banner County because we are not zoned.
It's not
Until we become
It's not for-
zoned,
as much for people who are zoned as it's for people who are trying to zone. That's the whole purpose.
are we
of the
trying to
project.
zone?
Yes.
Maybe you are. I don't know that our public is.
LB 663 is basically for conditional use permits. In your zoning regulations. Again, Mr. Cannon said, Banner County doesn't have zoning regulations. In order to get your, and I'm not going to say this very diplomatically or politically correct, and I apologize. Sorry. To everyone in this room. In order to have your zoning regulations, if you want zoning regulations, the zoning regulations are adopted contingent upon what your comprehensive plan wants to do. Your comprehensive plan has to have goals, policies, maps, future land use, current land use, potential conflict. Right now, I would focus on amending the comprehensive plan.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Getting good with that, Zach.
Also, no one's not irritated with me right now?
No,
Oh,
yeah.
thank God.
Keep running, keep going, Chief.
And I thank you, Sheila, because that's kind of what this board is looking for. Like our planning commission has been there for 3.5 years. We haven't been super engaged or active because we haven't had a need to. Now we're seeing a need to lean on them a little bit more. But them being new and never being really active, they kind of need a direction. We need to have a direction of what we need for them to do. Does that make sense?
Yes, and a comprehensive plan, needs to be done by a professional.
About what do those cost? Can you give me, before I call these two, do you have like a
Well,
ball?
last time we contracted with Pat to do it was $5,000.
And that was,
It'll be about 7,500.
And they refused to do it.
and they refused.
No,
I
they did
think
not
there was other
refuse to do
issues.
it.
Well,
They
did.
got run out of the damn courtroom.
Okay, well,
That's what it was.
and ended up not doing it, and that's.
I
why the
would-
process took you.
That's just called people not working
Realistically,
together.
5 digits. How's that?
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
Could be.
It could be 10 to 30,000. I mean, you will likely see proposals of 10 to 30,000.
So I have JEO.
Consulting, yeah. They're in Scotts Bluff.
Is there another one that's not that?
Marvin,
I'm sorry?
Marvin Consulting, they're out of David City.
Okay.
Is that right? Yeah, David City.
Who do you guys use? Have you used over time?
The last time we did our amendment to our comprehensive plan, we used JEO Consulting. They did not have an office here in Scotts Bluff at the time.
Okay.
Jeff was running out of Omaha. I had, when the public hearing was brought from the planning commission to the commissioners, 2 of the commissioners point blank said, this is the best money we have spent in a long time. So it's going to be an upfront cost. If the comprehensive plan is done correctly, it should last anywhere from 10 to 20 years. So you can say that it averages out a year. even though you have an upfront cost of whatever it is.
Okay, I will get some numbers together. I'll call that JEO Marvin. And I'll call Pad as well. I would rather keep it a professional company away from this board.
It's fine.
Does that sound
Do you
fair?
think the planning board would accept that?
Would accept.
Outside
Having a
help.
professional development
I think
person.
we really want it. I think the planning board's just scared to ask for money.
Yeah.
Like we just don't wanna feel like we're asking.
Okay.
Then yeah, I think we're all over it.
Because you're kind of flopping around not knowing what
Yeah.
first.
I mean, to be honest, just until a couple weeks ago, I didn't really realize the importance of the comprehensive plan. I didn't realize that's like the foundation that everything else is built on. So yeah, I think everyone's gonna jump on that pretty,
They're all basically new,
yeah,
that comprehensive planning commission.
so.
So yes, if that commission needs anything, Zach, contact one of us or come to our meetings.
Yep.
We could even put you on the agenda, that comprehensive planning commission on our agenda to give us a report.
What's going on?
Yep, just contact Katie to get on the agenda. It has to be done by Wednesday at 4:00,
Okay,
the week before the commission meeting.
yep, okay.
So if you guys have a meeting, somewhere in that time frame, you can get on the agenda with Katie and.
So I have another kind of weird question. How are our meetings, scheduled? Does someone just call them? Because they were scheduled, we were scheduled, I think it was every Wednesday after your second meeting, right in the middle of the month. And then it kind of fell off.
So your commission sets your meeting dates and times.
What's your bylaws state?
That's a great question.
Again, they're flopping.
So the planning board is at least required to meet, I think, quarterly based on state statute. But they can meet more frequently than that as needed and as they need to. And given what the discussion is here today, they're gonna have to be meeting monthly to be able to be prepared for when the moratorium lifts.
And that's, we were really good about it through the moratorium, and then it was kind of like.
Well, I think that was to achieve an objective, and once the objective was achieved, then that ended.
But the objective is not achieved.
But there's a bigger objective.
Exactly, we just started.
We've just started. So the objective was to get the moratorium onto until the planning committee can get the information together to make recommendations. So it is of the utmost important that your committee meets. And it's of the utmost important that action is taken so that we are not stale into this.
And I might add that it might be helpful for this board to start coming up with or thinking of names, because you will need to get a zoning administrator appointment made as well.
Thoughts.
Doesn't that come with the comprehensive plan?
I realize that it's really easy to say that the planning commission meeting needs to meet monthly. It's easy, and it's also in the bylaws. I don't know what's in your bylaws. And when they are supposed to meet and et cetera. But until you get an idea of what's going on, I see no reason for them to meet. Also, just in case you wanted to know, most planning commission members are very busy during the summer months. Kimball County Planning Commission does not meet at all from May through August.
Okay.
Unless there is something that is important. Simply because if there's nothing going on, there's no reason to meet. Not to mention, try to get 7 men who farm and ranch at a meeting during the summer is sometimes no quorum. So,
So
Consider that,
so
yeah.
let's do this, Zach. Contact your chairman, which is Joe Singleton, and you all decide when you want to meet, and that's perfectly fine.
So when we were meeting right after your guys' meetings, we had to talk, do you guys, do you guys care when we meet at all? We can meet whenever.
No,
Do you
that's
have bylaws?
So you mean,
totally up to your commission.
no, to answer your question,
See, to me, it
Does
makes
the
the
planning
most,
commission have bylaws?
no.
Mark says yes.
No, they don't have
No.
bylaws. They're set up according to statute, which requires 4 days.
So do we need bylaws
Oh.
for this commission?
so our bylaws just some regulations, like some rules that we have to follow?
That's-
Okay,
yeah,
Yeah, and
And they
you
can be
as a
simple
commission
and-
set those bylaws.
okay,
they can.
yeah.
Those are,
You might even have a
I can bring it up. I
copy
don't know
they
how
could
well it-
steal.
Me?
Yeah.
We don't.
Does that
oh,
sound fair, Zach, to you?
Setting up bylaw?
Well,
Well,
you guys meet as
Well,
a
okay, so if
commission when
Mark
you
says
want
that
to,
we're
whatever
using the
time.
state statutes for planning commission, you may not need to, I mean, that's just another thing that you guys have to have a meeting on.
Right. I
And
mean-
write and adopt.
it-
Well, then those take time, because if you ever want to amend those have to be advertised and you have to meet X amount of
they're
times. and blah, blah,
supposed to
blah.
meet quarterly at a minimum by statute
I'm talking about the bylaws.
and.
Right.
And as needed, so if we had zoning, for example, and someone came with a conditional use permit, then they would have to meet to consider the conditional use permit, make a recommendation to this board once they've done
But
that.
that's all down the road. Right now, all we need to look at is their budget for travel and education and this comprehensive plan. Once we get those in motion, then we can do. the
But
other,
once you hire a consultant, they're gonna meet monthly,
They're gonna be
the end.
much more regular.
Yes.
That's kind of an FYI, Zach, if you'll
Yep.
kind of relay all of this to your
yeah, I can do that.
commission, if you would.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will check into a consultant company and come back to you two with numbers.
That's mine. Yep, I've got this.
And then budget line items, I'll come back to you with
I gotta go.
suggestions from J13 on getting that in numbers. Does that sound fair? And then
Exactly
we
what
can
we need.
discuss it.
Thanks, Mark.
This is exactly what I was looking for,
Okay,
so that we
perfect.
could have a discussion, what we're going to have to do to get them the tools they need. So,
That's what you needed with this agenda, right?
right, well, and then I also wanted a kind of an update, and I would ask if you have a meeting, that you just kind of keep us in the loop, whether you please come to this forum, our commissioner meetings.
Yeah, give
and
Katie a
so-
call and get on the agenda so that if you have something we
If you
need to
have
discuss,
something,
we can.
right, so we can.
Well, especially with, like, for example, this next meeting, we're gonna cover, what our goals with just lay out some baseline goals with the comprehensive plan, what we wanted to cover. I took a lot of notes.
Think about what you want to protect in Banner County. Think about the resources that we have currently, aesthetics, water. Think along those lines, and
And then that's what you want me to bring to you, is what we're discussing, what our goals are. This is what planning committee's working on.
it's not for us to steer it, it's for you guys to steer it. But just be thinking about what we have.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Dave.
You can
Right.
also,
Good way to put
I
it.
mean, please don't take this the wrong way. But Zach, you have more important things to do. The planning commission, on your agenda, you have correspondence, reports. It could simply be an email.
Good point, Sheila, great
Yeah, they don't
point.
have to.
Great point, you don't have to be an email that we could read as a board.
I see what you're saying, like, we could,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to
Great
physically
point.
be
Thank you.
here.
I do that
Give
with the commissioners. I don't go to the commissioners every meeting. I give them a
Great point.
report.
I have to ask, are you collecting minutes? Is somebody taking minutes and
Yes.
sending them to Katie?
yeah.
Because those need to be in our report when they happen.
At the last meeting, I don't have anything.
Well,
Oh,
So-
well,
the minutes to the clerk have never happened in 3.5 years. If
No.
we're going to start doing that,
But
we need
They
to
were
advise our commission that that's a step we need to cover.
And
We've
that's a statutory requirement.
never
last
done
meeting.
it in 3.5 years.
We're starting.
No.
Oh, Kimball
I
County,
have
I'm
an
sorry.
Back when, like,
Yeah.
years ago.
Kimball County's Plan Commission minutes, agendas, everything are done by the Planning Commission,
Yeah.
okay? The public notices, I do, but you don't have a zoning administrator, so Katie does the public notices. If someone wants the minutes, the agenda, the information that was provided at each meeting, they contact the planning commission.
I think we
Chair.
have that covered because we have Zach on the website now. And he can put the, well,
We got, finish it.
yeah, we're working on, this is a work in progress, but Zach will be on the website, so he can post the agenda, he can post their minutes on the website.
I
Be
do their
readily
agenda.
available.
I'm sorry,
I do their agenda.
for the planning commission,
And I post it in the paper.
but it's up to our planning commission, correct?
Okay, so
It's a public board.
if you do not have, the planning commission cannot, because of the board, they are making recommendations to you.
Right.
The planning commission cannot put in a public notice. Like, Zach can't just type up a public notice and
Right.
send it to the newspaper. Zach can type up the public notice, send it to Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Katie then sends the public notice in and puts one proof of affidavit to the county clerk.
And I
So
think
it
that's
gets
what
paid.
happens when they put a notice in the paper, right? Who puts the notice in the paper?
I do.
Right.
Joe just calls me and says, this is the time, place.
And that's fine.
Right.
And then, but they don't type it out. I do
Right.
the notice, the agenda, and have everything ready for their meetings.
Right. The
So-
notices are supposed to happen that way,
Right.
Okay.
right? Are you good with that?
Yep, that's.
This commission is just new. So this is all, if we
And the
want them
planning
to do
commission-
something, we have to give them the process to do it. Otherwise, they don't know.
If you have
They-
questions, you have
report.
access to the county attorney as well.
Okay.
Do what?
They have access to the county attorney. If I had public meeting questions,
Good morning.
Yeah.
Are you good, Zach? Do we kind of have a direction that our commission can stop just flopping around and actually,
I'll follow it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think,
I think communication between that commission and this board is vital.
well, and we're a small enough county, it's like we kind of all need to roll in the same direction somewhat. I mean, you know?
Yeah.
We can propose a bunch of stuff, but if it's nothing you guys like, what are we doing? You know, we might as well somewhat be on the same track.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know.
Yeah. Your commission, you guys do what you think is best, create things you think is best. And then bring that to the board.
Yep.
We're gonna need a seatbelt for Sheila. Does that answer a lot of your questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I appreciate you being here today.
yes.
Thank you very much. And like I say, if you have a report you want on the agenda, just contact Katie.
Okay. Yep.
And get on the agenda. Leif, are you good with that?
I'm
Did
good.
we cover what you wanted on the agenda
I
item?
think we have covered what I'm after.
Okay. I lost my agenda.
Peanut
totally.
gallery.
Think what we had left was, are you good on that? Are you good on that topic?
Absolutely.
Good on that topic?
It's good when we started.
Okay,
I'm ready for claims.
all right. Item 12, claims.
Motion to print claims.
So second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve claims. Any further discussion?
Second.
I'm gonna like to go through them first.
Let's see for years. You receipt of the
You haven't gone through that, huh?
No.
I know.
Have you seen these?
I got.
Cause I don't come and live at the courthouse every day. All day. I got other things going on, no?
Okay. I got time.
It's nice enough to have to sign everyone, then, isn't it?
I had to sign one last year, by the way.
Why is that?
Just so you didn't get printed right.
Electronically?
Yeah, they,
Why
mix.
didn't you call me and I would've came in to sign them?
You were already gone.
Yeah, well, Dawn was here still and
I said I would come back.
I just thought it would.
I would prefer to do the signature, that's my job. For 6 more months, I get to do it.
No, I don't think they're good at it. No, not yet. I think they come in. Try.
Sorry, really not throwing them your way.
No. Just kind of slide around. My favorite thing is to pull out a paper clip in the middle of all the other. And everything's all on his feet.
Katie always has them in an order for us and then I scramble them.
It didn't matter.
Yeah. He mentioned something like that. I don't know, say that.
Wow, 1850 for great, isn't that crazy?
That should be it. It was pretty good. They were all pretty good shit. All I could do was down there. I'm so sure. I don't know what that to do. But you don't know what to say about it. Oh, good. Well, just looking over the time.
I'm like, we are still in session and you both get up and leave. I need at least a quorum here.
Hey, Bill.
Sorry, Lee, didn't know where you went. There's our crack ceiling, huh?
Yep. Solid. Oops.
If you got some checks, extra checks, just a little further south.
Write them right out to you. There you go. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to be seen.
Hello, sir.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good, good. Take care.
Guys, be safe. Have a great rest of the day.
You
You
too.
too.
Thank you.
Oh, do you want a copy of that? I meant to give him a copy of that.
I've actually got to look this up. I never printed it.
I have Zach's email now. I can email that to him as well.
663,
Charlie and,
this.
yeah. Jimmy email it to you and Don.
Sure.
Well, Don's probably got it. He sits on that committee, so yeah.
Looked it up. I've never printed it out or haven't put forth a lot of effort into it, but
And, I don't know where it's at exactly. What County Treasurer was their extension office, that one? Did you want a copy?
not at this time. Katie, is everything balancing and working okay between you and that problem from a few weeks ago is fixed now?
Yeah, I forgot, there was that claim that we voided. I forgot about that. Yeah, the journal entry was done, but it didn't reflect in the report.
Gotcha.
And then the other one is we're having issues with the insurance company of taking somebody off of the insurance, and that was the other issue.
And that's now been resolved.
Yesterday we talked with Nick, and he is hopefully gonna get it resolved this week. So, but the numbers have been found and we know where they're at. Everything's been fixed, so, we are balanced. I think Ashley has gotten us balanced, from year to date. We balance month to month. Year to date, we're still off. But I think she's got it all the way down to like $60-some dollars.
Okay.
We're off, so. And we think we know where it's at, but, there's a little bit more homework to do with that, so. We're on track for.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Been moved and seconded to approve the claims. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Don?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 10:39.